Hi, I'm Brian Russell. Welcome back to class. Today I want to talk about how to actually prepare a survey on the book of Psalms. Now, you have 2 weeks to work on this project, and the goal here is for you to gain a sense of the lay of the land of the Psalms. Now, if you've done previous IBS classes, you know that a survey attempts to look at main units, subunits, and find structural relationships. And you can do that with the book of Psalms, but I want you to recognize that the Psalms is a really large book. We have 150 individual Psalms, and it's going to take a long time to even read through them all. So I want you to know up front, I'm not expecting to have some superbly executed, tightly organized survey of the Psalms like you might have done, say, like if you had me for Matthew and maybe just on like a segment. So what I'm really looking for instead is for you to show me that you've kind of gained a sense of the lay of the land. Now, let me just point out a couple of things that you're going to observe about the Psalms. Now, obviously, we have 150 Psalms, but one of the things that is clear, and you'll notice this when you read through there, is that the Hebrew Psalter itself breaks itself into 5 separate books. So you're going to have Psalms 1 to 41, 42 to 72, 73 to 89, 90 to 106, and then 107 to 150. And so part of the work of the survey is done because you have at least 5 chunks. And so these would be probably subunits. So all I really want you to do if you're looking for main units and subunits would be to ask yourself, are there really 5 main units, or is there a way to organize the 5 books that are there into smaller units? So maybe you're combining, books 1 and 2 or whatever. So that's what you're going to look for. So don't drive yourself crazy trying to come up with really detailed structures and organizations. Use this, as you're going to see, and just to give you a little hint, if you just look ahead, look at the last verse of each of these books, or the last couple of verses in some cases, you're going to see the language of blessed be. So the books are coherent in terms that each of the 5 books in Hebrew ends with a benediction, if you will. It says like, blessed be to the Lord. So just notice that. So really what your job in the survey is going to be is to see if you can organize these, number 1, and then number 2, to see if you can find some structures. Now, again, you're going to ask yourself, or even ask me, like, how can I find comparison, contrast? How can I find causation? How can I find those things? Well, let me just say this. Don't feel pressure to manufacture structure. A structure that you can observe, and this is what I really want you to focus on, is look for recurrences. And in that, it can be a combination of words. What words seem to recur over and over in the Psalms? What themes recur? And keep a record of this. So if you can just make a list of those 2 things, you will have succeeded in this assignment, because I want you to get a sense, again, of the lay of the land. And then also look for clues about the composition, perhaps, if there's any clues that you can see that give insights into the structure. So don't go beyond that and stress about it. So try to read through the book of Psalms quickly. Again, you have 2 weeks to do this. So I'd recommend getting through the Psalms, at minimum 2 to 3 times. You may have time to do even more than that over these 2 weeks, but invest yourself, read the Psalms, read them quickly, and then just jot down recurring words and themes and see if you can organize this any more than the 5 books that actually exist there. Now, the second thing that you're going to do in the survey is, and I have separate video and some more instruction on this, is there's some Psalms, and you can look at the specific instructions. You're going to give the actual form or genre to learn how to identify that. But as you're reading through the Psalms quickly, just see if you can self-identify all of the Psalms. But for the assignment, I'm just asking you to identify specific Psalms so they don't try to list them out for all 150. And then after you're done, as you write up this survey, and again, this isn't going to be like other IBS surveys or the ones we're going to do later in the semester with all the details. I'm really just looking for, can you do anything to organize the Psalms? And can you find some structures, at least focus on recurrences? Yeah, if you see other bigger structures, maybe you find a climax, maybe you find introduction, yeah, note those, but for sure work on the recurrences. And then the last thing I want you to do is just write a few sentences or maybe a paragraph about this. Do you find the book of Psalms to have an intentional structure to it? Or does it seem to be haphazard? Write some reflections on that and you will have done really well. But again, this is 2 weeks to invest yourself into a survey of the Psalms so that you get a sense of what's coming. After this week, the rest of the semester will be focusing either on a couple of blocks of small Psalms, like Psalms 1 and 2. And we're going to also look at Psalms 146 to 150, and then just individual Psalms. But all the individual Psalms will have a richer meaning when you get a sense of the big picture. So if you have any questions about what I'm looking for, send them in so I can help you. But I hope this video has done something to allay the worry about what's a survey look like. This is something less than a full-blown survey. If you've gained a sense of the lay of the land and have found the listed out recurrences of words and themes, you will have hit the nail on the head for what I'm looking for this time. Again, it's my privilege to be your professor. I'm Brian Russell. Until next time, live by faith, be known by love, and be a voice of hope to others.